How should you store barbecue skewers? Do they need to be refrigerated, or can I leave them at room temperature? Can I freeze them to store for longer? In this video we bring you some tips on how to store barbecue skewers to prevent them from spoiling quickly or the meat from drying out. Tips for storing barbecue skewers. It is important to remember that barbecue skewers are made of meat, and meat is a perishable food, so it should never be left at room temperature for too long. Never leave them out for more than 2 hours at room temperature, as after this time the bacteria that cause food poisoning multiply rapidly. If you live where it is hotter than 32 degrees Celsius 90 degrees Fahrenheit, avoid leaving them unrefrigerated for more than 1 hour. In the case of raw barbecue skewers, whether seasoned or unseasoned, they must be kept in the refrigerator inside an airtight container. They will last for 48 hours in the fridge without spoiling. If the skewers are already cooked, they can be stored in the refrigerator in an airtight container, and they last a bit longer than the raw ones, from 3 to 4 days in the fridge. If you are going to transport raw or cooked barbecue skewers somewhere, place them in a cooler with ice to maintain a low temperature, between 4 and 5 degrees Celsius, around 40 degrees Fahrenheit, until it's time to prepare them. Do not let the temperature of the meat in the cooler rise, as the bacteria that cause food poisoning thrive in heat. If the skewers are not consumed on the same day and have been kept on ice, they can last one more day in the refrigerator. But only if they have been kept at the correct temperature. If they were left at room temperature, do not save them for the next day. Can you freeze barbecue skewers? The best way to preserve barbecue skewers is precisely by freezing them in the freezer, as is the case with other cuts of meat. In the case of raw barbecue skewers, they can be placed in an airtight container in the freezer or in a vacuum-sealed bag. They last up to 6 months in the freezer without going bad. It is important that they are well packaged to prevent freezer burn caused by the cold air, especially if you plan to take a while to cook them. But pay attention. If the skewers are seasoned, the shelf life in the freezer is significantly reduced due to the seasoning. Keep seasoned skewers in an airtight container for up to 1 week in the freezer. To thaw the skewers, leave them in the refrigerator overnight. Avoid thawing them at room temperature. If they have been thawed and were not used, they will last for about 2 days in the refrigerator, provided they have not been left out. It is not recommended to refreeze them. How to know if it has spoiled? Always check the appearance and smell of the meat on the skewer. Typically, when it spoils, it can become slimy, have a sour smell, or even develop foreign growths and mold. If you notice anything wrong, do not risk eating it. Discard it. It can be dangerous to your health.